Shifting focus to a story which many of you may find ironic. The Union Road Transport Secretary, Anurag Jain, was caught by surprise when he received 3 challans for overspeeding on a stretch in the capital. Interestingly, it happened because of something that many drivers would have experienced. Speed limit signs were not placed in an area that made it easily visible. The Road Transport Secretary said that the sign was placed behind a tree, rendering it practically invisible. And sharing his experience, he said that technology treats all commuters equally. This is not the first time when a road transport secretary has flagged off poor placement of signages. Earlier, one of his predecessors, Y.S. Malik, had recalled how he missed a direction signage on the Delhi-Chandigarh highway since it was too small. And a 2017 study by the Institute of Road Traffic Education found that at least 70% of road signs weren't placed according to norms. 1,098 out of 1,514 didn't meet the standards that were prescribed. We're crossing over to my colleague Isha Mishra to get us more details on this. Isha, again, as we mentioned, this is an incident that many may find ironic, but what's also important to note in this story is that he has gone ahead to double check that the speed limit sign was below what he initially believed it to be. He's also gone on to, I believe, appoint officials to make sure that the problem doesn't persist for other drivers.
Right. So, in fact, what he also stated was that indeed technology does treat everyone equally, and that fines will be slapped on other commuters in similar fashions. But reading from what exactly he said, and I quote, he said, "The system does not recognize who the owner is, and I've paid challan for speeding thrice. But my problem was different. I took up with the police that the speed sign should be visible to me." However, now there are two questions being raised. That are that if the speeding signs will be visible, definitely the rules will be followed. But again, that the whole point of the signs are, even if they're not visible, rules need to be followed. So clearly, it is absolutely correct what he's saying, that speed signs should be visible. But again, the point is that that speeding should not happen even in roads when the signs are not visible. So this is a very ironical statement, like you rightly pointed out. In fact, he's also sent, Mr. Jain has also sent several people to further inspect the spots to check whether these speeding signs will be visible, and a decision will be based on that. But the person also stated that, that the speed limit was about 50 km/h mentioned on the board. But later, and I read from what he stated, he said, "Later, when I went on that stretch, I found the signage was put at a spot which had a tree in front of it, and you can only spot it when you're very close to it." So what essentially Mr. Anurag Jain has said, that he will, or the common public will have trouble following road signs if they're not placed at proper places. However, then questions are being raised.
Absolutely. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing us more details about this story. With this, though, we're going to be shifting focus